This is as close as we can get to Southern California's
so-called
what's being called
biblical flooding across Colorado.
The people overseeing the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant have another problem on their hands. Officials with Tokyo Electric Power Company say the level of radioactivity monitoring down their storage tank found more than 300 tons of highly radioactive water leaked last month out of the storage tank. The water is thought to have seeped into the soil. Managers have assigned more monitors to check for radioactive materials in groundwater near the tank. They say the level of tritium at one of the wells.
I speak unto thee this day, I say count it a privilege. I say count it a privilege to have your life directed by me. I say count it a privilege to be under my authority, my lordship, my sovereignty, my mastery. I say count it a privilege to come forth in the way that I ordain. For I say it is me, the living God, who will give to thee the blessedness. It is me, the living God, who will give to thee the truth. And I say, if you count it a privilege to receive my light upon the path, so are you ever directed by me. Therefore I say, in a wayward, vile, corrupted, and evil generation, be thankful for what it is that I provide. For I say it is me, the living God, who will provide for thee the blessedness, the truth, the mercy, and the hope, and the peace of who I am. Now I say, if my own people will walk in the way that I provide, without rebellion, without mistrust towards me, I say, so shall they learn to abide satisfied. For I say it is me, the living God, who will give to thee such as ye have need of, to be well-pleasing unto me. But I say, if you refuse obedience unto me, I say you take yourself under my wrath. For I say that my wrath is ever present for the ones who disobey me. Now I say it is me, the living God, who will ever direct, correct, and guide forth a people who purpose themselves to be pleasing me. And I say that I will indeed be bringing forth the ones who walk uprightly, ever being strengthened by me. For I say, if it is me that you will keep hoping, believing, and trusting in, you are brought forth in the way of my life. But I say, if you look to the world and the vanities of the same, you are indeed steeped in darkness. Now I say, you are living in a land where rebellion is rampant on every hand. But I say that you do not need to be conformed to rebellion, but be conformed unto me. For I say you are meant to be merely pilgrims and strangers journeying through, not abiding in the presence of the world. And I say you are meant to be conformed to the way that I provide, not taking up the rebellion of this age. For I say, because men have grown so proud, so stubborn, so willful in their rebellions against me, I say they have literally grown to despise my way. But I say that I, the living God, never called thee to be despising, but I say that I've called thee to be thankful unto me. That is, I've called thee to be thankful, to be partakers of the instruction, the direction, the correction that I provide. For I say it is me, the living God, who is ever abundant in my presence, my power, my glory unto thee. Now I say this day, when you look upon what it is that I, the living God, do give thee, I say that it is the way of my life. And I say, when you look upon what it is that I, the living God, do purpose for thee, I say it is the truth always. Therefore I say, be coming forth, make glad that it is me that you can continue to love, to serve, and obey. And I say, be thankful that it is me that you can be purposed to please. Now I say you are living in times when men have abandoned to gross darkness, they have abandoned to wickedness, and what is the fruit of the same? I say it is nothing but the way of their own damnation, and oh, how dumb they are. For I say they think in the sinisterness of sin they find some selective thrill, but it is not true. For I say all they merely find is the same old trap, the same old way, and the same old sentence of death. And I say all they find through it all is the damnation of their souls. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do call thee to walk uprightly. I say that I call thee to be ever purposed, pleasing unto me. And I say that I call thee to give me the thanks, the praise always, for I am the one who is able. That is, I'm able to cause thee to be rejoicing, ever delighting yourself in me. And I say that I call thee to be thankful that you can indeed be purposed, directed, and guided in my way. For I say it is me, the living God, who is indeed the fountain of life, pouring forth the waters of refreshing unto all who will come unto me. That is, they will never thirst as the world does thirst and is never satisfied. But I say that my own will be satisfied with the waters of life that I give them day by day. For I say it is me, the living God, who is well able to provide. I say this day, when you look upon what it is that I do, I say that I am the miracle-working God. And I say that I will indeed bring forth all who will keep their vision single, that is, upon me. And I say that I will indeed ever purpose, direct, correct, and instruct all who will pay heed unto me. For I say it is me, the living God, who is present to give thee the blessedness, the truth, and the light upon the path. And it is me, the living God, who is present to purpose thee, that you can indeed be strengthened, directed, and guided always by me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do find pleasure in those who accept my will, and will be glad to be in the same. For I say, when any man or woman will be hard-headed and stubborn, proud and rebellious against my will, I say they are grief unto me. But I say, when the ones who are mine will be willing, will be obedient, will be purposed by me, then I say they are well-pleasing unto me. That is, when they will indeed be accepting my will, my way, with gladness, thanksgiving, and be ever present in me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to look at the weariness, the dreariness, that is, the consequence of sin and rebellion against me that men are under in these days. But I say that I call thee to look unto me, the one true God who is caring for thee. And I say that I call thee to be thankful that you can indeed be purposed, directed, corrected, and instructed day by day. For I say, when it is me that you will continue to trust, to believe, and obey, you are ever guided forth by me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do intend thee to walk in trust and confidence, keeping your faith stayed upon me. For I say, in whatsoever way that I, the living God, will direct your life, I say, be thankful for the same. That is, do not be at disagreement with me, ever grouchy and surly because of what it is that I ask of thee. But I say, instead, be ever thankful that you can indeed bend the knee unto me, and be well-pleasing unto me. For I say it is a joy unto me when the ones who claim they are my people are willing and obedient unto me. That is, willing to obey, willing to walk in my way, and ever thankful for the same. Now I say that I, the living God, do set before thee this day the way, the will that I've chosen for thee. I say, commit yourselves unto that way, unto that will, with gladness and rejoicing. For I say, as I've already told thee, you are living in a time when rebellion is permeating, is devastating, is bringing ruination throughout the land. But I say that I've never called thee to be conformed to the standard of the world, but to be conformed unto me. And I say that I've called thee to be thankful for what it is that I give, what it is that I provide. And I say that I've called thee to be ever purposed, directed, and corrected by me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do intend that you would indeed continue in the way that I set before thee, that you would indeed be partaking of life. For I say it is me, the living God, who is the truth, the power, the strength, the glory intended. I say, be thankful unto me. And I say it is me, the living God, who is the way that you are meant to walk in. Therefore I say, be rejoicing in me. For I say, when you look upon what it is that I give, I say that you will see that it is the way of eternal life. Now I say this day, when I, the living God, do give warning and warning and warning unto the disobedient, it is that they would turn from their wicked way. It is that they would repent, that they would bend the knee unto me and come forth in my life. But I say, when the ones who are in disobedience towards me continue in rebellion, stubbornness, and pride, I say, of course, they come under the wrath. And I say, when my wrath is revealed, I say they cannot take off the same. For I say it is me, the living God, who brings the heaviness, the weariness upon them, and I say that they cannot free themselves. Now I say this day it is only a fool who chooses the way of condemnation, who chooses the way of devastation when he should be choosing me. That is the way that is opposition to my will and my way. I say this day be glad for the privilege to choose my way, to choose my will, and to come forth in the same. And I say be ever thankful that it is me, the living God, that you can be adhering and looking unto, for I am indeed well able. And I say be thankful that it is me who will purpose thee in the truth, the light, the mercy, the strength of who I am. Now I say that I, the living God, do not call thee to weariness nor dreariness, but I say that I call thee to the way of my life. And I say that I call thee to be made glad, ever thankful that it is me that you can be serving, that it is me that you can be in obedience unto. For I say your lives are not your own, and when you try to keep the same, you war against me. But I say if you give yourself over to the will, the way that I provide, then you are uplifted, brought forth, and ever guided by me. Now I say, count it a privilege to be ever present in me. Count it a privilege to be directed by me. Count it a privilege to be instructed in me. For I say it is me, the living God, who will indeed give unto thee the instruction that will cause thee to live. And it is me, the living God, who will indeed give unto thee the light upon the path, that you can be coming forth ever obedient unto me. And I say, let your expectation be in the mercy and the truth and the light that I provide. For I say it is written in my word, and I speak it unto thee because it is true, that the wrath, the fury, the indignation are prepared for the disobedient, are prepared for the rebellious, the stubborn, the proud. But I say that the mercy, the truth, and the life are prepared for those who come forth in obedience unto me. Therefore I say this day, be willing your will to obedience, to walk in the truth, the light that I provide. And I say, be ever thankful that I give to thee the blessedness, the truth, and the light upon the path. I say, be ever thankful that I purpose thee, that you can indeed be made glad, ever present in me. That it is me, the living God, who is the righteousness, that it is me, the living God, who is the truth and the mercy and the hope provided for my own. And I say, be ever glad that I, the living God, do give to thee the way of life, that you can indeed be ever glad in the same. That is, rejoicing to be a partaker of truth, rejoicing to be a partaker of light, ever guided by me. For I say that I am indeed the one who is caring for thee. I say, therefore, be thankful to partake of me. And I say this day, be thankful that I, the living God, do indeed have goodness and blessedness, mercy and hope for those who are trusting in me. Now I say, when you look at the darkness of these times, know that I, the living God, have the pathway of life prepared, the pathway of light intended for those who will walk uprightly in me. And I say that you do not need to be a people who are scattered and peeled, a people who are devastated, humiliated, but I say that you can come forth humbly in me. That is, by taking my counsel, by walking in my will, and by being well-pleasing unto me. For I say it is me, the living God, who gives to thee the truth, the light, the strength, and the mercy of who I am. And it is me, the living God, who will ever be purposing thee, that you can indeed be kept in me. I say this day, do not play the fool, do not play the harlot on me. But I say, prove to be a people who are faithful and true, well-pleasing, and receiving the blessedness that accompanies the same. For I say, when my people will consider how much mercy I've given unto them, I say they have no cause to complain. But I say, when the ones who are claiming to be mine walk according to the counsel of the world, walk according to the counsel of demons, they are far from me. I say there are multitudes even now who are under my wrath, and I say that my fury shall increase against them. And I say it is because they have chosen the way of hypocrites, pretenders, mockers, and scoffers, for they simply refuse to be in obedience unto me. And they go on stubbornly claiming that they are mine when it is not true at all. For I say they are following the counsel of their own understanding, which is lies. I say this day, be thankful to walk in my will, my way, to be directed, corrected, and guided forth by me. And I say, be thankful that I purpose thee in the truth, the light, the strength of who I am. And I say be thankful for the privilege to keep on serving me.